Basically, we pulled together a list of all the capital projects that need to be done in the city. It's roads, it's water. We pull all those together, and there's been a score sheet that's assigned to all of those. So we can really go to the residents and say, this project, this road is scheduled for 2027. So this is so beneficial. I love that we're doing this now. That helps, us project and plan for the major projects that need to happen in the city.
Welcome to Herrimanology,
the official podcast to keep up with Herriman City.
We'll take you inside the city, explore the latest news and updates, show you how your government operates, and discuss the issues that affect us all. Now, here are your hosts talking all things Herriman on Herrimanology.
All right, welcome to Herrimanology. It is Friday, May 31st, and just like that, we're done with May.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe I should have been prepared for that. You're right.
It is the last day of May. So here we are. I am John LaFollette, Communications Manager, back from vacation.
Good to have you back.
It felt like a month. It was really only 4 work days that I missed, but it's been a busy week this week. Joined today by Mayor Palmer. How are you?
Good to have you back. It's good.
So there's a lot going on right now. We had the Memorial Day event on Memorial Day this last Monday. The rodeo is going on right now.
Yep.
Day 1 of 3 was last night. It was super fun. You were there. What did
you
think?
Great turnout. For a Thursday night, first Thursday night, we think we had about 1,800 people out. So not a full house, but 1,800 people that probably wouldn't be able to make it Friday and Saturday because we will sell out this weekend. So it was fun night. Got chilly towards the end, but a blast. Always a good time.
Good bull riders.
Good bull riders.
That's really good.
It was a great night. Yep.
So more tonight and more Saturday. If you're listening to this afterward, sorry, but we'll catch you next year. It's so fun. The quality increases every single time it happens too.
Yep.
The rodeo.
And the investor that's coming with the stock wants to make this even a bigger event. And we're actually going to look for some outside funding. We're having some meetings to look for some outside funding to make it even better. So we're excited.
They already won the award last year for the best, I can't remember the exact title, but best small rodeo in the Wilderness Circuit,
Correct.
Which is a major circuit within professional rodeo.
Yep, very highly regarded rodeo.
So Herriman.org/rodeo. Do not buy tickets from any other links. Every time we post something on social media, there are spam bots that come in our comment section. We try very hard to delete them. Don't click on those links ever.
Don't.
Go to Herriman.org/rodeo and nowhere else to buy your tickets.
Absolutely.
Even if the comment seems legitimate.
Yes.
It's not.
Very true.
Want to mention, too, Town Days is coming up. We'll talk about that more in the next couple of weeks, but that's June 15th through the 22nd. So it used to be Monday through Saturday. Now we're putting the Yeti run a couple days before on the previous Saturday. So even more fun coming up.
Even more fun. And a couple other things added that day, too. I think a special needs baseball thing that day. So, yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Herriman.org/town with an E -days. Or just go to Herriman.org. You'll find a link.
It's right there in front. Yes. Yes.
And want to mention, too, the Matilda production from the Arts Council, Friends of Herriman, starts June 6th, going through the 17th. That used to be in July. It's in June now, and it starts next weekend.
It does. Great. They put on a great show always. I've heard nothing but good about this cast. It's going to be phenomenal. Always a good production. So come out. It's unbelievable what they do.
And it's outdoors, so enjoy the summer atmosphere there. It's at Butterfield Park.
Great environment. Yep.
Want to congratulate the high school seniors for everybody graduating from Salt Lake Academy, from Providence Hall, from Mountain Ridge, from Herriman High. You're probably getting a lot of congratulations right now, but good for you. It's welcome to the adult world.
Right.
Life comes at you.
Yes, it does.
But congratulations and well done.
Yep. Congratulations. It was good to have. I think we had somebody from the city at every event. I did miss the Salt Lake one, just with some other stuff we'll talk about. It was a week, but unfortunately missed that one. But we had people from the city at every event supporting our students because we love supporting our youth.
Life comes at you hard. Just work hard, show up, and that's most of the battle there. Yep. I feel like.
And I'll say, be kind. Like I heard that everywhere. Just be kind. Boy, we need a lot of that in this world right now. So just be kind.
Yeah. So. You kind of alluded to there are a couple of things that happened this week that we need to mention. We're not going to go into a lot of detail. This is not a crime podcast or anything, but there was a homicide on Wednesday was Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
And really, really sad. First one that Herriman's had in a long, long time. It was a young kid. And so condolences, thoughts, prayers to his family, to his loved ones, and to all those involved. Just a really sad situation. Really want to thank our police officers for responding, and for South Jordan Fire, Unified Fire for their assistance as well.
Yeah.
Just a really sad situation. And it's just tough to see.
Yep. Awful. Been a heavy week.
And then, man, not half a day later, overnight, there's a fatal accident on Mountain View Corridor and 134th. Again, another young kid. Just tragic loss of life, and it's really unfortunate.
Yeah, and I would just beg the community. I think when this stuff happens, we go to social media and start the accusations of stuff. Just be careful with that stuff, because nobody knows what may have been going on. We just never know in these situations, and these family members are reading those comments. So I would just beg. It's just an awful. It's been a heavy week for the community. So just be there for each other, support each other, look out for each other, check on your neighbor right now, just in every way. Just times like this remind us we need to come together as a community. Just that's the reminder we need sometimes, unfortunately, is that life is precious and we've got to take care of each other. We just got to watch out for each other. As we've grown, that's the biggest challenge, is trying to keep that close-knit feeling out here. So we've got to do better right now. So, yeah.
And that's something that Herriman has usually been very good at. And we see so much outreach of support. And I was there at the scene of the homicide incident, and I almost had a very somber situation, but a part of it almost made me laugh because there were so many people who came to help. There were more pizza boxes there for the officers than there were officers.
Wow, that's amazing. I had no idea. I hadn't heard that. That's amazing.
It was, and then just the drinks that people brought, just say thank you for your help, trying to stay out of the way, but support the officers. And to me, that's what Herriman's all about.
I love that.
And has been. And we've seen similar situations with other incidents in the past where really tragic, really somber, really, fill in the blank. But there's so many people who do step up and do reach out. So keep doing that. It's appreciated. And like you said, reach out to your neighbors, reach out to your friends. Just make sure everybody's okay.
Yep.
Shifting gears, there's no smooth way to do that.
Yeah,
We're just going to talk about the city council meetings now. So we didn't do a podcast last week. I was somewhere in the middle of Oregon with no reception.
Good for you.
I missed a short city council meeting for once.
Yes. Finally.
What, an hour and a half long?
Yes, it was great.
That's short in government.
Yes.
So let's talk about the city council meeting. In the work meeting, it was kind of the end of the work meeting budget discussions. We've talked about this many times in the podcast. Different sections of the budget have been talked about over a period of months. This time was capital projects. What was that discussion about?
Well, really, capital projects come at the end, because what basically everything else goes into the budget first. Your police, your fire, then your ongoing expenses that have to happen that we've talked about, the basic needs. We're trying to cover those basic needs. Once those are covered, we kind of know how much is left at the end to cover capital projects that need to be done. So once we knew where that was going to fall, now we can we pull together a list of all the capital projects that need to be done in the city, as far as its roads, its sewer, its water. We pull all those together, and there's been a score sheet that's assigned to all of those. And now, which is great, because now we know this project's going to happen next fiscal year. This one's the next year. So we can really go to the residents instead of guessing on when these big projects. We can kind of say, well, it depends on money, which it always kind of does, but it's easy. Now we can say this road is scheduled for 2027. So it's really, this is a 5-year capital plan that we approved. So this is so beneficial. I love that we're doing this now. That helps, us project and plan for the major projects that need to happen in the city.
Yeah, it's the city's had lists before in various forms. This is a lot more dialed in. Mm-hmm. It's something that's very conservatively projected, and something the city can rely on in years to come.
Yep.
So capital projects, the capital improvement projects is how we call them a lot of different names. Basically what that means, transportation, so streets largely. Mm-hmm. And we don't do highways and freeways.
Right.
That's UDOT. So ask them if you have any questions about them.
Right.
But streets, internal streets in the city, whether that's it's usually maintenance and replacement or widening as the city
Correct.
grows.
Yes.
New streets are usually paid for by developers. We could talk for hours about how all that works. But,
Right. Yeah.
Capital improvement projects also include water lines, stormwater, parks.
Yeah.
Just a lot of the infrastructure needs, and it's all very, very, very expensive. If you haven't looked at the city budget, go look at some of the price tags on those projects, and it'll blow your mind. But that's how much it costs.
We joke now, and it's not funny joke, but we talk that every project now is $2 million. I mean, it really doesn't matter what it is. It's crazy that everything is just so expensive right now.
The small ones.
Yeah, even the small ones are $2 million. So we're doing our best to stretch and reach, and we're turning corners, but it's still tough.
Yeah. And Main Street that is wrapping up right now, it's paved. There's finishing landscaping. That was over $10 million.
Yeah, I think
for that stretch of road.
Yep, which is crazy. 10 block or 13. I mean, crazy how much it costs.
That's
the way it is, right? Yep.
So we mentioned the budget. That is up for approval in the next city council meeting, June 12th. The public hearing was in the last meeting.
Mm-hmm.
You can still comment on the budget. That was the public hearing, but it's up for approval on June 12th. But city council is willing to listen to whatever you have to say.
Please, yeah, we're open to it. And we feel like we've narrowed it down, and we're taking care of basic needs as the priority. But we still would love to hear any comments about it. And I mean that. We really do mean that. So,
then one more voting item I just want to touch on. There's a zoning change for 2 or 3 acres around. I'm just reading the agenda item here because I wasn't at the meeting.
Right.
But around 126 South, 6,000 West. What was that?
So it's an existing home right now. They just want to subdivide there. They've got that, like I said, a 2.5 acre lot, and they don't want need that property now, so they just want to divide it into 5. I think it's 5 other lots, so they're going to be half-acre lots, which I don't know if anybody can argue with some half-acre lots in the city right now. So
yeah, still a pretty big
it's a
lot.
good fit. Yep.
And then Wednesday night was the joint Planning Commission City Council meeting. Happens just about every 5th Wednesday that comes up throughout the year. So usually 3 or 4 throughout the year.
Yep.
One item of discussion there. What was that one about?
Well, this is a chance. I love our joint meet. They're a chance for it. We don't get to meet with our planning commission very often. They fill such a critical role for us. But really, this was just talking about, as the city now, we recognize that development's going to change in the city. We are now, most of the big developments are now either approved or going to be approved in the next little while, or really, I guess they really are approved, because what we're working on now is some modifications is all. But for the most part, the city's entitled out. And when we say entitled, it has a master development agreement tied to it, or something already committed to it that probably won't have to deal with these big development that we've dealt with for years as a city as we've grown. Most of that big stuff is gone. Now it's just going to be the small infill pieces, and development changes. And as you go from big swaths of land to smaller infill pieces, it changes how you need to do it. So really is, how do we make sure that happens productively for the city in a good way, that's good development, that's quality development, that adds to, the quality of life of the city. So that was really the discussion. How do we make that happen? External ADUs, possible, backyard apartment, that type of stuff. We're trying to decide if that's somewhere we want to go on some bigger lots. So there's a lot going on right now in that area.
Fair to say there wasn't anything decided in that meeting, but just kind of talking about and then kind of introducing the subject and something to come back another time.
Yep. So now basically we've given instruction now to start through the planning commission. All of this now will start through our planning commission, which really does a great job of trying to, think through how all of this affects everything. And then once they vet it all, probably still, months out before we see it back as a council, but it'll go through their process, and then we'll see it and give our opinion on it and thoughts. But people will hear more about that stuff as it's coming up.
Coming from a former member of the Planning Commission.
Oh, I love my time on the Planning Commission. Yes.
Good times.
Yep.
That's all for today. Thank you, Mayor Palmer, for coming in on a Friday, busy week in general.
Good to have you back, though.
Thank you for listening and watching. We didn't get to no dumb questions today, but if you have a question, leave it in the comment section anywhere, or email communications@herriman.org, and we'll get to it.
We need more of those.
Yep.
Yes.
Government's confusing, so we'd like to answer your questions for you.
Yep.
So thank you, Mayor.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for listening and watching. We'll catch you next time.